Hello my viewers, welcome back to the channel. The video title of this video is about what a victory, what a win. The Steelers win back-to-back. This is the Steelers versus Falcons game review. That was a nice way to end the game right there, but we're going to break it down quarter to quarter. I know a few things I liked and get into it. In the first quarter, the Steelers went out there and they started the game off with a nice drive, running the ball and keeping that same balanced offense, getting the ball moving. I love the way they use the fullback lately. Derek White, they say he was 5 for 5 on 3rd and 1 situations. The Steelers just playing like we're common sense play calling. Like I was saying in some old videos, the common sense play calling, just going out there and just making common sense play calls instead of doing all the crazy fancy stuff. It's 3rd and 1. Get to your fullback or just go downhill with your big running back and just get the first down. And so the Steelers played that balanced out offense throughout basically through the first quarter and basically the first half. It's kind of been like that for the past couple of weeks. We've seen like the team play very well in the first half, balancing the offense out, running the ball and running with all 3 running backs this time too. We've seen Benny Snell get some action. Najee was the leading back. I didn't think Najee was going to play this game because of the injury that happened to him. And he was practicing and he came in and played and he balled out. And then you see Jalen Warren making some plays here and there as well and doing pretty good in blocking too, in pass blocking and on some of those receiver sweeps. He's been the lead blocker on some of those plays. The offense was getting it going. They scored a touchdown in the first half, kicked some field goals. Connor Hayward caught the touchdown, his first touchdown catch of his career. Kudos to him. A round of applause to Connor Hayward, and many more to come. He's a big tight end out there, and he does well in blocking. He also is pretty good when you get the ball in his hands. You see him when he played I think it was in Michigan, right? And they use him all different type of ways. They use him as a fullback, they use him as a running back a little bit, and they use him as a tight end. Kind of like mix him around, and he made plays here and there. And Pat Freiermuth, the big play he made with Kenny Pickett, just zipped it to him, and that was a nice throw. But the play after was all Muth like that, getting in there and just breaking a tackle and just getting loose. Now I feel like he would have. I don't know if he would have scored or not, but I feel like he was about to score. But Gunner got in his way a little bit. He was outrunning Gunner a little bit. Gunner got in his way a little bit, but they did get down there and and have opportunity to score a touchdown with I think that was the Connor Hayward play. Let me make sure. That was Connor Hayward play, the Connor Hayward touchdown on that same drive. So that was a good drive. We've seen some more splash plays, but I love the way that the team is actually dedicated to running the ball still. Remember everybody was preaching that early on in the season, like run the football, stay consistent with the run. Even if your offensive line not the best offensive line, just go out there and stay consistent and stay dedicated to run the football and just put that in the mindset of the players, the offensive line, the running backs. Be like, hey, no matter what we get, we're gonna keep running this football. We're gonna keep pounding this football right down their throat. And that's what the Steelers did for the past 3 weeks. And today, I think we had 130 or 40 rushing yards like that. This game, we had 200. The game against the Saints, we had 100 against the Bengals. And the last game against the Colts, we had 167, I believe. So we've been running the ball consistently. Quarterback been getting in on some runs. Najee, Benny Snell, Anthony McFarland last week was getting in some runs, and then we've seen Jalen Warren back getting in some runs. So everybody kind of getting involved in the offense. George Pickens got a little upset because he didn't get the ball. I guess he only had 1 catch. I started him in fantasy. I have him and Jesse Johnson in my fantasy teams. I was like, I think Pickens will have more touches than Jesse Johnson, more targets, and he only got 2 targets and 1 catch for like 2 yards. But he got a little frustrated. But as long as you win the game, like that only that should really matter like that. Look at some Larry Fitzgerald stuff. Larry Fitzgerald was a guy, and he put some great stats and great numbers. But he was a guy who was all about team first. So go out there and win the game like that. But George Pickens he'll be good though. He'll be good next week against the Ravens. He gonna have to show up too. The Ravens secondary not the best secondary in the world, so he might have a big game there. But this game right here, Jesse Johnson showed us why he did get paid some big bucks. Now he did that drop early on in the first half. And he had it was a lot of field too, so he would have caught that ball. He would definitely got the first down, and he might have got to the end zone, especially depending on how fast we know Jesse Johnson can get out there, how quick he is. But later in the game, he made some big plays, like that last drive, making the play, catching the ball and moving forward and stuff. But when we got to the second half, oh yeah, that's another thing too. Jesse Johnson moving forward instead of like running backwards and stuff. He was thinking about it at first. When he caught that one pass, he was about to go backwards. He ran forward on both of those plays, like those big time catches. It was actually good for him not to I know you're trying to make something happen, something out of nothing like that, try to put your foot in the ground, but you catch the ball, just go forward and keep the yards positive. Our offense is already it's still in the learning stages, and we're getting better every week and trying to build up some momentum and build up consistency. So don't just try to like stunt the offense progression, running backwards and like and setting us back on some downs like that. But in the second half, our offense got stale, and it's been kind of the tale. I think Wilson, they put it best. SteelerNation Australia put it best on one of his video titles. It was the tale of two halves. That's that kind of like J. Cole's song, The Tale of Two Cities. The Tale of Two Halves. That's the perfect title for it. But we started off hot. Most of these games, and then kind of cool down in the second half. But at least lately, they've been able to actually make enough plays in the second half to maintain the lead. We know the defense is good. We know the defense will go out there and put the clamps on people. We've seen it week 1 against the Saints. We scored 20 points, but the defense held the team to 10. The Bengals game, you play against like I said, we play against elite teams like that. It's you got to stay on par with offensively like that. But teams like the Saints, the Colts, we got the Panthers on the list and stuff like that, the Raiders, those teams right there, you can beat those teams like that because your defense is good enough to hold those teams and limit them down to a certain point. And your offense should be good enough to go out there and put up those points. And we've been seeing it lately. The offense has been good enough to make, even if they don't keep the same energy throughout the whole entire game, they still go out there and make enough plays in the second half to still be able to win the game for us. But the offense got a little stale. They hit a field goal in the second half, but in that last drive, even though we didn't get any points, I like the way the offense used the clock like that. The Najee Harris running hard up the middle, up the gut. And the only play I didn't like was the gunner sweep, but it was positive yards, and he stayed in bounds, so I take it like that. But them making the clock down, and then it was a smart decision for Mike Tomlin to not go for it. It was Chris Boswell back there. He probably would have kicked the field goal, but yeah, make it a 6-point game. But since he had Wright was doing good today, but his range might be like limited a little bit. We see him make a few deep ones, but it might be limited a little bit. And plus, you can like try to pin him back. And Percy Harvin went out there. I said Percy Harvin. Yeah, Percy Harvin third. Or Presley Harvin. I might say his name. I'm thinking of the kick returner from the old days. But he went out there and made an amazing punt out there. And then Miles Boykin getting the recovery. And then after that, the defense do what they do. The past few weeks, actually most of our wins really, it comes down to the defense. The defense will be out there, and they kind of been like the tail of the Steelers the past couple of years. Like the defense be out there stopping the team or something like that, or just going out there and like winning the game for us. And in this game right here, they won the game for us. Minkah Fitzpatrick seeing the ball, he saw that all the way. I was saying it the whole entire time. Where I mentioned it last time in the preview, I said Marcus Mariota, he will turn the ball over. He will turn the ball over. He'll give you one turnover like that. You got to be waiting for it. There was a few ones in the first half. Wallace had his hand on it. We see some other ones, but Cam Sutton had a chance to get on it. He deflected it down. But this one right here, we seen it coming. Minkah Fitzpatrick seen it the whole way. Playing off, kind of baiting them into it, and then just breaking in on the route and getting it, picking it off. He could have went in for a touchdown, but go ahead and end the game. We don't want to see anything crazy, anything fishy happen. You get hit on the side, you never know what could happen. Like this, go ahead and go out of bounds, take a knee in the game, and the Steelers win back-to-back for the first time this entire season, like that. But actually was cool to see the team being sync. And at first, I wish we could maintain that through the entire the whole game, like that, the way we played in the first half offensively. But as long as we win the game, I'm not tripping. I'm not going crazy. As long as we win the game. And Matt Canada has put up a shutout. Remember Mike Tomlin kept saying put up a shutout. And Mike Tomlin, Matt Canada, Terrell Austin, all those guys has put up a shutout over the bye week, and they went out there and they called a great game. And they also all had the team in sync, and everybody is kind of like feeding off their energy and like building some momentum up. Now I'm not saying that we're going to the Super Bowl or anything. Of course, I'm not saying that. No, I'm not saying that at all. But the playoffs is still not too far away. We're 5-7, 2 games under 500. Like that, you have the Ravens next week. Lamar Jackson went down with an injury. I don't know what the extent of that injury is, so you never know what could happen. You might be playing a backup quarterback. You never know what could happen. Their secondary not the best either. And then you have the Panthers. You have the Raiders who've been struggling. The Panthers been struggling. You play the Ravens again. You get the Browns. Deshaun Watson didn't look too good. He's been 2 years out of the league. Haven't played a regular season game in 2 years, so you never know what could happen like that. So as long as you keep playing with that energy, keep running the football, keeping the offense balanced, and putting Kenny Pickett in the best situations possible and letting him learn on the way while you're still competing, they're going to just make a better quarterback. Kenny Pickett has improved a lot. No turnovers since the bye week. Went out there just playing amazing football. Got his first touchdown passes, a touchdown pass in I think since week the Dolphins game. Yeah, the Dolphins game. I think week 9, something like that. I think week 8 or 7, something like that. His first touchdown pass since the Dolphins game, so people can kind of be quiet about that. But it's great to see the team all in sync. And Benny Snell's another guy. I give the flowers to Benny Snell because Benny Snell He went out there, you know, he was on special teams, and he making some big time plays on special teams, going out there making tackles. We see him make some big tackles on special teams, but getting your number called last week when Najee go down and like just going up there and just picking up the slack and going out there and getting 67 rushing yards and a touchdown was amazing. Then this week, getting the call again like that, they're using 3 backs, and you go out there and make some big plays, and he's using his footwork. And we seen the Benny Snell we saw in 2019 and early 2020 out there using his footwork and the confidence of just going downhill and just being crafty. And you got to give kudos to a player like that. You know, just don't be complaining on the sideline. Don't be throwing stuff or like just like being frustrated. Just going out there and putting your head down and going out there and playing like that. Well, not putting your head down, putting your head up actually, and going out there and playing. You know, like they say, hey, I gotta play better. And when your number is called, go out there and deliver. And Benny Snell went out there and delivered, and the team is looking very good. And I'm very pumped up. I'm pumped up about the team. You know, we get a little terrible towel swing like that. But yeah, that was a great win for us. It basically was like we was at home, really, because the fans was in there booming. So the Steelers can continue this up. We'll be at home next week. I'll be live streaming that game, of course. It's a Ravens game. It's a division game, so I'm live streaming that one. The Ravens and Steelers going at it. That should be a good one. But I'll see you guys tomorrow on Victory Monday, and that might be live, actually. And I might start doing those live segments. So just tune into that tomorrow. But go Steelers. Peace out.